The race for the leadership of the 10th National Assembly has been on, and it is becoming a very big issue, more than ever before, especially among members of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC. This has equally become a national concern, eliciting anxiety even amongst the Nigerian public, challenging especially without recourse to the sensibility and the plight of ordinary citizens of the country who is traumatized due to the prevailing social and economic conditions. Lots of intrigues by the lawmakers and the political platforms to produce the principal officers of the next Senate and House of Representatives have been so tense. The 10th Assembly is almost dividing itself along ethnic and religious lines already, occasioned by the 2023 general elections, with various groups laying claims to the top leadership of the national legislative arm. But Nigeria certainly needs a new breed of parliamentary leaders that would responsibly assert and leverage the independence of the legislature and help steer the country out of its social and economic quagmire. So, we shall be discussing the National Assembly leadership race, the outcome of the consultations so far, and what stakeholders have to do to ensure that new leadership emerge without necessarily exacerbating the divisions. This is Nigeria Today. I am Victoria Clinton. Welcome to the program. With us here in the studio to discuss this topic is a legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst, Mr. Abdullahi Jallo. You're welcome to the program.
Yes, Mrs. Clinton, viewers, you are welcome.
We also have with us here Mazi Peter Okorafo, National Secretary, Coalition of APC Support Groups and Public Affairs Analyst. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
I'll start with you, Mr. Abdullahi Jallo.
Yes.
Now, you are very conversant. You're a legal practitioner, conversant with the political terrain and, of course, events as they unfold. Now, tell us, what is your view on the leadership tussle that is ongoing?
Well, viewers, Mrs. Clinton, the issue at stake is a very straightforward issue. In the first place, you can agree with me, the popular views of the party would the present position. The party has proposed Senator Godswill Akpabio and Jibrin Barrow. And you can agree with me that Yaro Gandhi, former governor of Zamfara State, and others are equally interested to become Senate President.
A lot of interest.
And you have said it all that unfortunately, issue of religion and ethnicity has come in. Mrs. Clinton and the viewers, to be sincere, if you reflect your mind back during NRC SDP, where Abiola of blessing memory was brought with Baba Gani Kingibe. It was a Muslim ticket. That was done just for convenience, not on religious basis. You can quickly recall that a Kano politician of blessing memory, Bashir Tofa, contested in Kano with this Abiola and Baba Gana Kingibe, but he lost. So what I'm driving at is that people should not look at what is happening as if there is a religious dimension in it. The APC has done this just for convenience sake, for purposes of winning election. And the second thing is the crisis of the leadership. Most of Northerners today most of Northerners today, we politicians, we are fully in support of the emergence of Opabio with Jibrin Barau, because the APC got a higher votes from the north. Kano alone, despite the shortcoming of the present government, where NMPP defeated them in the poll, they were able to deliver 550,000 votes to APC from only one state. You know, Kano has about 44 local government. It has about 6 million votes. So in this regards, the Northerners are interested to participate in this government fully, to support it. The Coral Clara people are making all these Ranko and Halubalus are on the speaker. And the reason is simple. The reason is simple, which I can now educate you. Why should the party go and take, for example, Abbas Tajuddin, who is a Yoruba, nominated maybe by Bajabia Mila? People should be allowed to select the person they want. And more so, in the House of Reps, there are all legislators that have came back. Betara is there, Alassane Dogo is there, Ahmed Idris, the speaker, the deputy speaker, and so many one of them. And then you brought a newcomer to come and say, okay, you should become the speaker. And the party endorses it. There is no quarrel at all about Fabio and Senator Jibrin Barau. The contention is, had it been the party, which is supreme, has taken, for example, Mr. Abdullahi Jallo or any other name from the north, who has no this background as his tribe. No matter how you stay, I stayed in an Igbo land, I can never become an Igbo.
Okay, I have to stop you there. Now, Mazi Peter, I know he has said a lot of things about the event as they're unfolding, but then I know you're privy to what is going on. So tell us, where are we right now? You know, with the consultations and all the, the whole permutations and the rest of the. Where are we at this point?
Well, mistake making is part of human existence. When you cease to make mistakes, you cannot make progress. Now we're talking about consultations before what happened or after what has happened. It's like placing the cart before the horse. Such grassrooted consultations ought to have been done before they arrive at that decision. But to throw a light, I took time to go through the lines of the contents of that letter from the party by the Publicity Secretary, Barrister Walker. It's indicative of the fact that they were not part of the prima facie decision to zone and micro-zone to individuals. You can pick up that letter and go through it. So that at no time was the party part of that decision, going by the letter issued by Walker. The national chairman, the letter reads that they were introduced to the subject matter and the party was like remunerating on the conditions. It's not a final decision from the party. It's like an introduction to them. So, and that is why people who have gone through the lines of that letter are now coming up to say, review it. Go through it. Because the country in the past 7 years and has gone through economic instability, security instability, social instability. And I'm not sure Nigerians are ready for another 4 years of such experience. So what that means is that this present government has a lot of tasks on their shoulder to get things to work in peace. The common man, the ordinary Nigerian. So going forward, what I think should be done, like they have realized, by the various consultations going on now, which reflect the final decision is not final, it's open. What I think should be done is they should do what I call institutional consultation by engaging the National Executive Committee members of the party, so that we will not keep going around circle and let the decision be final and definite. Get them involved. And then let the zoning be considered first before micro-zoning. Once you do micro-zoning alongside zoning, it then means you are prejudiced. It's no longer nationalistic or patriotic interest. Because everybody has a right of aspiration.
In other words,
and the parliamentary system, or our legislative system, is an arm of government that should be allowed unilateral decision of their own.
in other words, you're in support of the zoning system.
I am not in support of the zoning system. I am saying the zoning system is subjected to proper institutional authorities that have the mandate to make it definite, taking into cognizance the various reasons agitated from the zones for national interest, national cohesion. And that is why you see the myriads of complaints from all over sectors. It's not. They didn't do it properly. It's not from the party ab initio. Neither is it from the zonal stakeholders. But God knows where it came from. Let's just take it at that point. So we have to do the proper thing and get the right result.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's pause for a break and take the reaction of Nigerians on the subject matter as put together by our correspondent, Butua Miller. Stay.
The Southwest already has the president-elect, and then the Northeast already has the vice president-elect. Those two are out. If you now have 4 presiding positions of the Senate and the House of Reps, then you should just naturally share to the 4 remaining zones: the Northwest, the North Central, the Southeast, and the South-South. Those are, those are the sense I think that we should follow.
APC is a political party. And of course, in the National Assembly, as it's currently going to be composed, there are a lot of parties that have representatives there. So when we are talking about the making of the leadership of the National Assembly, I think dispassionately we should look beyond even the APC as a party, because both the House of Reps and the Senate combined, the opposition parties have even higher number of members than the APC. So it's a matter of the willpower. If the members elect are ready to do the needful, they can always get the right candidate to become their leaders.
Look at Mr. President himself is from Southwest. If you look at the Vice President is from the Northeast. Now, to balance it all, you cannot expect the Senate President to come from either of these zones. Rather, it will rather come from the East, and that is why, or South-South. That is why we have. That is why we want to. Let me just say, not yet done. But from what we have, from what I've seen on the ground, I can see that Asoju Bola Tinubu is actually, supporting the candidature of Akpabio from South-South. So, of course, that will definitely balance the equation, so that the 3 geopolitical zones will be adequately represented. And once this is done, we now believe that the interest of the entire country as one nation will be taken care of.
Welcome back. The program is still Nigeria Today, and I'm still here with my guests, the 2 gentlemen. Now, Mr. Abdullahi, you had a reaction of people there. Now, somebody made a mention of, the other parties. Now, we know the APC is the dominant party, no doubt about it, and of course the issue of competence poses a threat. Must the leadership of the National Assembly come from the ruling party? Must it come from the APC?
Well, Mrs. Clinton, you look at the amputation, the numbers of senators in the Senate, which the ruling party had the highest number, not like what is in the House of Reps. Even where the opposition party came together in the Senate, they cannot beat the number of the senators that are for APC. Already, you see, we have that position in mind. Honestly, not because you as an interviewer, an Igbo or he. My person that I was supporting before was Kanu. But I look at the interest of the party, which is supreme, and I look at the number of the senators that are for Opabio as it is now. And whether his emergence may be a problem to the party is unlike what is going to happen in the House of Reps. So he has made mention of a letter written by the National Publicity Secretary, which I read them. I read it and I know the contents. And I am very close person to the national chairman. I know what is happening. But also I'm a party man. So I am not missing words. The position of the party is going pari passu with the positions of Nigerians, particularly people like myself. We are making effort to avoid Sudan crisis, where you build a country, just few people to come and destroy it. Each part of the country need to be represented. And coming of Opabio and Jibrin Barrow is a plus to the party, and I am sure even if we go for election now, Clinton, certainly that calculation will not be missed. Our only problem of the party, which I'm not quarreling the party, I am a party man, I am obeying the party. I have heard when Opabio went to the national chairman, he said, go and look for people. So out of 107, Opabio went with about 76 senators serving. So what are you talking about? Okay. That is the issue.
Okay, Abdullahi, let me allow Mercy Peter to talk here. Now, we've been talking about, you mentioned some persons and the rest of, but we keep talking about people. The essence of good leadership in the National Assembly, how important is it, to, one, Nigeria as a country, and even Nigerians? Because now, if you're looking at people we're bringing, are we looking at competence? And how important is it to have good leadership in the National Assembly?
You just spoken so well. You just asked so well. My good friend has been clamoring for Akpabio and
Jibrin
as an obedient loyal party member, not because they are the best of the candidates. His only reason is that he's a loyal party member, and that's why he wants them. But loyal party member also has to include you're wanting the best for the country. The country first before the party. And anything the party does that subjugates national interests is ultra vires, is set aside. When you look at the individuals being trumped up, Jibrin was a appropriation chairman somewhere. Akpabio rose from governor of Ibom State in PDP, jumped to Senate and then minister. Today he's in APC. Ideally, he does not know what APC stands for.
How can you be so sure?
I can say that.
How can you be so sure?
No, I can say that. Do you know why I say that?
Let's just look at their competence.
No, let me go ahead. That's what I'm driving to.
Yeah.
Yes. We're looking at the competence. We have sequential invite on him by EFCC. Within this period, short interlude. to come and explain hundreds of billions diverted.
No.
Let me come.
Let's not go there.
It's in the public domain. I'm not the one bringing it out. It's in the public domain.
Let's not go there.
You're asking about competence. We're asking about competence. And we're talking about competence. Competence has to do with credibility. It's on record that he has refused to honor invitation up till now. If I am questionable, I won't go. If I'm not questionable, I'll go and clear myself. There's nothing wrong being invited by security or any of the graft agency to come and explain yourself. If your records are straight, you just go there and put your records in and walk away. Anyway, that aside, what I'm trying to tell you, competence is the watchword and the underlying factor to determine the 10th leadership of the National Assembly, because it's a department, a separate arm of government that balances the tiers of government for the smooth operation of governance in a country. It cannot be coerced to loyalty. It cannot be subjected to control and influence. And it cannot be headed by a man who has questions to answer here and there. Imagine a National Assembly that is running on a due course, and all of a sudden, because you are standing on the right of the people, and somebody calls you, come here, needed to, before the graft agency, come and explain yourself. The business of the house is thrown into a wire. And that should have been done before then, before you're elected. So competence is the issue. And when you're talking about competence, I as a person, I transcend geographical consideration. I don't mind where you are. But having been part of the process of the growth of APC from 2013, so to say, till now, I think I have the mandate and the privilege to say who ought to mind that place within the party system. Loyalty, obedience, competence, free of any incursion from the graft agency. There are so many of them, but I can tell you of one. Distinguished Senator Osita Ezunaso. He has been in the House of Rep. He has been in the Senate. He has worked as in the Rep. He has worked in the Senate. He has served the party as organizing secretary. He has never been invited by any anti-graft agency for any questioning. He is a humongous human resource manager and bridge builder.
We are not really here to
No, I'm not campaigning for anybody. I'm just giving you an inference. Look, I'm not campaigning for him. We are looking at the possibilities.
Just look at
we are looking at the possibilities on table.
The importance of good leadership is what
There's some good leadership must be narrowed down to an individual. And when you narrow it down to an individual, you bring out his characteristics and traits in the public. Do you just pick up individual from the vacuum? If you must point at somebody and let the public look at him and mention a name, go and scrutinize him. That's what we're saying here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mazi Peter. So, what will be your closing thought here, Mr. Abdullahi?
Well, the question is, Mazi has made his mind known. The question is, as a lawyer, I know invitation is not conviction. And I believe most of the senators that are currently in the Senate, many of them are ex-governors. And I always try to measure my words before I say it, maybe because of my background. I know Opabio right from day one. And nobody is above the law. So I should have one Mazi. Maybe I'm not defending Opabio to draw the words are too harsh for this forum, because for you to make Clara, I see you, and tag you with something that you are invited, while I'm not part of the agency. No matter, I know so many people's name were mentioned, and then they do not even have an offense they have committed. Okay. But in any case, that is his own views. So, for me, legally speaking, invitation by EFCC does not translate that one has committed
any
offense.
offense,
So we are
yes.
withdrawing it for the purpose of this forum,
Yes.
at least to throw apology to Opabio.
Yes.
No, I have not said anything. No, Alhaji.
Gentlemen,
I'm only saying
we have to end it
he
here.
should go and answer.
Gentlemen, we have to end
Advise
it
him.
here.
He's supposed to go
Gentlemen,
and answer.
Because this
Thank
is
you very
and
much.
clear the air.
this
Thank
is
you very
agency
much.
of
No
government.
allegation.
Thank you very much.
NTA
There is no allegation. There is no allegation on him. There's no allegation.
Thank you very
they
much.
They say he should come
Gentlemen.
and clear the
NTA
air.
as it is
Let
now
him go and
is
clear
one
the
of
air.
the best
Gentlemen,
institutions in
thank
this
you
Let
very
him go and
much.
clear the
I
air.
It's not good for us
understand
to
your
make
consent.
No,
Thank
it's
you
not
very much,
allegation from
Alhaji.
you.
It's
I said
okay.
he should go and clear the air.
Thank you very much.
He's been invited twice.
Gentlemen, thank you
Go and
very,
clear the
very
air.
much. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much. But we do apology for any word that has been said wrongly. And invitation is not conviction.
But
so
it's
the
good to honor.
the
Honor it.
conversation seems to be getting quite interesting. But as it is, time is not on our side. So we would have to stop here. But before we go, we must appreciate our guests for their time. Mr. Abdullahi Jallo, a lawyer and a public affairs analyst. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much.
And also we appreciate you, Mazi Peter Okorafo, is a public affairs analyst. Thank you very much for coming. And to you, our viewer, thank you very much for always keeping the date with us. Don't forget Nigeria Today, weekdays at 7:30 p.m. on NTA News 24. You can watch this and other episodes on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24. Thank you for watching. I'm Eukaria Clinton. See you tomorrow.
Okay.